Why do some salespeople shy away from following up with customers that they spent time with the day before? Why is it they never call them back? Why is it they maybe we'll just send them a quick text or an email and just say, hey, thanks for coming in. I hope you consider me in the future when you're ready to make your purchase. Why do they do that? Why? You know, why don't they go the extra step? Follow-up isn't designed, it is designed to say thank you, but it's designed to close the deal. After, I spent 20 years in automotive and been in sales my whole life, and I could tell you the last 5 years, or I was with this one company where I built my career, and I was with them for the majority of my career. I was with them for like 13 years, and the last 5 years I was kind of put in a follow-up training role, and it was a managerial role where I would assist salespeople and help them close deals, help them with follow-up. And I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I'm tooting my own horn. I'm damn good at it, and I'm probably one of the best in the nation at doing this, and my results proved that. Okay, the month after I left that store, the general sales manager called me and said they were down 200 units. So it's just and I'm not saying that to brag, I'm just telling you, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to follow-up. The number one reason why salespeople don't follow up or do a very poor job with following up with their customers is the number one reason is they fear being rejected again. They put everything into it the day they met with that customer. They were hoping, oh gosh, I'm gonna make a sale today, and everything was right. The customer was pleasant. Maybe the customer did, correctly answer your trial closes. But then yet at the table, then yet at the table, when you were presenting your proposal, they didn't buy. And they asked for your business card and they left, okay? So because of that, salespeople stop following up or just don't follow up, which is ridiculous to me, because 70% of your customers, and I don't care what you're selling, 70% will not buy on the first day. Most people have to go home and think about it. They really do, okay? And somebody at some point in time has told that salesperson, hey, if they're not buying today, get out. I'm gonna focus on today's business. And that is the wrong way to think, because there is gold in the follow-up. What you're looking for, or what you're trying to create and dig out every single day, is a sale, right? It's like you're mining for gold, not panning for gold, you're mining for gold. And you're looking for that gold vein running through the rock. You're actually building that gold vein that runs through this big rock. And you go meet your fresh customers, the customers you've never met before. You do your best job with them. In between customers, you're on the phones, you're on the emails, you're sending videos, you're sending text messages, following up with the customers and trying to hit that gold vein and break off a little nugget of gold for the day. So, how do you do this? If you've been rejected the day before, you have to take, first of all, you grind on the customer. Most customers won't buy if you grind on them, okay? Especially established people, okay? You got husband and wife who are in their 40s and their 50s or older, and they bought multiple units, right? Multiple cars, multiple mattresses, multiple, couches, multiple whatever, roofs, right? Fences, decks, whatever you're selling, insurance policies. They've purchased multiple of them. They know the game. They've seen it coming, and they see you coming and your pitches, 10 miles away, right? And they know, based off of their repetition of buying things, They know if they say A, B, and C, it's going to leave the salesperson to back off. So, how do you do it? What's the most effective way? The most effective way is to take the caring and customer service approach to your customer and stay calm and put a smile on your face when you're on the phone. Okay? Shoot them a quick personalized video. If you have to leave a voicemail, always leave a voicemail. You know, I'll tell you why you always leave a voicemail. Most new cell phones today will have that voicemail transcribed into a text message. Okay? And even if they don't get through reading that whole text message, they see, hey, this is Greg from ABC Motors. I really appreciate you stopping by yesterday. I just want to take this time to say thank you, right? They're going to see that. They may even close, but they know you put your name again in front of them, even if they're not listening or reading that whole message. Okay? But they know you're thinking about them. So, let's say you get them on the phone or you shoot them an email. How should that be formulated, or what should you say? Okay? Well, you want to address them by first name, okay? First name puts you on a common ground with them, okay? If you say sir, ma'am, okay? Some parts of the country, you call somebody a ma'am, okay? They get highly, highly offended, okay? I'm not even kidding. It's only like in the South where calling people sir and ma'am, people don't get offended. Okay, I've had guys get offended in different parts of the country by calling them sir. Okay, I'm not a sir. Okay, don't call me sir. Okay, my dad's a sir. My dad was a colonel in the Army. Okay, that's not me, right? So you got to be careful. People like hearing their own name, so address them by their first name. And then that way also, when you do that, it's casual, right? Hey Bob, hey, this is Greg at ABC Motors. Hey, I just really want to say thank you for stopping by yesterday. And look, I understand, hey, you know, you're just getting started. Repeat back that objection they told you. Repeat that back to them, because it's a smokescreen objection anyway, right? It's a cover up, right, for the real objection. So, hey, you know, I really appreciate you stopping by. I learned a good little phrase from this guy from this company called Traver Technologies, and they teach follow-up. You know, it's an ADP company, and he had this awesome little saying, and it was, hey, the last thing I want is for the message of gratitude to get lost. Hey, I really appreciate you stopping by yesterday. You know, it was a pleasure meeting the both of you. The last thing I want is for the message of gratitude to get lost. Hey, let me ask, while you were here yesterday, and I know you're just getting started, while you were here yesterday, hey, if there was one of these three things, if there was anything that stopped you from moving forward yesterday, what would that be? Would it have been the car? Was it the right fit? Oh, no, the car was great. We love the car. Oh, terrific. But that's a relief for me, because I find most times that people come in thinking they want one thing, and then after driving it, they go home and realize it wasn't the right product for them. So I'm glad to hear that. Number two, hey, was it anybody here at the dealership? Did anybody rub you the wrong way? Did I rub you the wrong way? Oh no, man, you were great. Everybody was great. I love those cookies, you know, or hey, you know, the coffee was fresh. I love that coffee. What kind of brand is that coffee? Anyway, number three, hey, I just got to ask, because was it the price? Well, yeah, you know, the price may have been a little bit higher, more than what we were expected. And this is true. In today's world, cars are more expensive. Things are more expensive than any time in the past, okay? If you're selling roofing, you know roofing is more expensive today than it was 20 years ago when they replaced their roof, okay? Their last roof. So maybe the last time they did it was, you know, 15 grand. Now it's 20 grand for a roof. So, hey, yeah, they're always going to be a little sticker shock. It's always going to be more than they want. But this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Objections are a good thing. Without objections, you got nowhere to go. It's only by objections and overcoming the no. Most people, here's the truth. Most salespeople are so into only looking for it, the yes, okay? Oh, they want everything to go perfect, every step, every process, every way. Oh, you like it? Yes. Oh, you ready to buy? Oh, yes. Do the numbers look great? Oh, yes. Okay. That's not real world. That is not real world. In fact, what you should be doing is you should be searching for the no's, because those are going to come out in your close. And better to get them out before the close. The close, when you set them down, they should be committed already. They should be committed, okay? And if they're not fully committed to buying that day, they should be committed to the closest match you have in inventory, okay? It may not be perfect, okay? Hey, look, how many times does somebody walk in to, if you sell cars, how many times does somebody walk into your dealership and they want a color that just doesn't exist on the new cars? Maybe they were in a different region. Maybe they were vacationing in New York and they saw a color on a car that's not offered in the Northwest region, right? You know that happens all the time. So get those objections out right away and do it on the phone call if you have to, you know, I mean, but when you're going into the close, hey, look, overcome all those and never use closed-ended questions, okay? You want to use open-ended questions. Open-ended questions allow you to pivot and allow you to carry on a conversation. But back to what I was saying. So knowing how many times has that customer who's wanted, let's say, I don't know, a bronze color car that they saw, or a truck that they saw, you know, in New York, right? And they want that at your dealership, or you just don't have one in stock. How many times has that customer drove off in a silver colored car, a blue colored car, a black colored car, or a white colored car, or a red colored car? All the time. How many times do people come in and they go, oh, I want leather, I gotta have leather, I gotta have a sunroof, I gotta have the premium sound, right? I gotta have Apple CarPlay, I gotta have Android Auto, I gotta have. And then what do? They settle for something less and they drive off in something less. And maybe, you know, they realized, hey, look, maybe the sunroof isn't quite the option. You know, in Washington State, we actually sell more sunroofs in Washington State because of the rain and how dark and gloomy it is all the time versus, you know, cars without. And so you walk in, you're in Seattle, right? Oh, you want to, you know, the car you have has a sunroof, they don't want a sunroof. Hey, look, I'm not wild about the sunroof, they leak and all that kind of stuff. Well, you know, only aftermarket sunroofs without the ports leak, right? So, hey, look, you know, what's really funny about that is we actually sell more cars with sunroofs in the state of Washington than in any other state, simply because it's so dark and gloomy all the time, and people don't even really open the sunroof, but they open the shade to let the light into the cabin. He goes, and you know, when you're done with this car, it's going to bring a higher resale value because you have the sunroof. Little things like that I think a lot of salespeople miss on those little things. Okay, now let's get back to the follow-up. If you find it difficult to make the phone call, like you got nothing anyway right now, right? You got nothing except a name and a phone number, maybe an email address. If you're smart enough to ask for an email address. I can't believe in 2026, people still don't ask for email addresses. It is the biggest mistake of a salesperson, one of the biggest mistakes salespeople make constantly. You're told in the write-up to get all the pertinent information, get it down on paper, create your customer profile, okay? But yet you go through, you don't get an address, you don't get a driver's license copy, you don't get this, you don't get that, you get Bob Smith, okay? Well, is his name Bob or is it Robert, okay? And is Bob a nickname? And could his name be something else, something crazy, and people just call him Bob? And then they give you a phone number that they're never going to answer, okay? And you never ask for the email. Yeah, what are your chances on closing that deal? Well, probably only if the customer really likes you and really wants that car are they going to close that deal. So, hey, think about that too, right? All the pertinent information. But what if you just don't have the cojones, right? You don't got it, right? To reach out. You're just full of fear picking up that phone and calling somebody. Here's what you do. Because you got nothing right now, and the customer's told you that damaging information, and you let it sink down into your heart and you really believe that, okay, which is a mistake, but you believe that. And so what should you do? Pass it off. Have your guy sitting next to you make the phone call, okay? Have him call as a person of authority, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be you making the follow-up phone call, but hey, take a half deal. Split the deal with that guy next to you, okay? Hey, call this guy, close him over, follow up with him, close him, split the deal with me. And then every 3 days, you got to stay in touch, of course. Hey, I just wanted to make sure I know you've been speaking with my manager, John. Is there any information I could do to help, anything I can do to help out? Or is there anything I could relay to John that would maybe he should know about? Maybe I know he's super busy and sometimes he's hard to get a hold of. Is there any information, a message I could relay to him? Oh no, Greg, no, thank you very much. Okay, that right there, see what you did when John called your customers, it broke the ice for you. Okay, it broke your ice wall down. Okay, you broke your fear down, because now you're looking at possibly John getting half of your deal. You're like, oh, I want that. So the fear of loss in yourself is going to force you to make a phone call. Now, again, let's go through what you say, okay, and how you say it. So I studied a lot. Like I studied this all on my own. Like I read books after books after books when I got into this management role. And literally I had some store training, but that wasn't good. I mean, in my opinion, if you want to be the top at what you do, you got to go above and beyond store training, store provided training. And so I read a lot of books, okay? And I watched a lot of people. I watched a lot of these other big name salespeople constantly, like on YouTube and stuff. And I studied them, okay? So start off with the first name. And then put a smile on your face, right? So then what you do is you say, hey, Bob, is Bob there? You want to talk as if you're calling your best friend down the street when you were like 10 years old. His mom or dad picks up the phone and you want to be as excited to ask if little Jimmy can come out to play, okay? So guy picks up the ring, guy picks up the phone. Hello? Hi, is Jimmy there? Okay, not over the top, but hi, is Jimmy there? Be a little excited, be happy. Yeah, this is Jimmy. Jimmy, this is Greg at ABC Motors. How you doing today? Now, people always say, well, what about, shouldn't I ask him for the time? Shouldn't I say, hey, is now a good time? When you say how you're doing today, that's asking for the time. Because if he doesn't have the time right then and there, he's going to say, hey, Greg, it's not a good time. Can you call me back in 30 minutes? And he's not going to be rude to you because you were happy and upbeat when you gave him a call, when you first answered the phone. Okay, like you were excited to talk to him. People want to hear somebody on the other side of the phone who's excited to talk to them. So, hey, Greg, it's not a good time. Can you call me back? Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. And, but let's say it is a good time, okay? So, hey, how you doing today? Okay, man, I'm doing great. I just really wanted to say thank you for stopping by yesterday. It was a pleasure meeting you and Sarah. And, wholeheartedly, the last thing I ever want is for the message of gratitude to get lost. I know we looked at a lot of options yesterday and we gave you a lot of information, but, I just want to make sure me and the dealership, we're doing the best we can to serve you. If there was anything we did yesterday that maybe stopped you from buying a car, buying that Jeep, would it have been the Jeep itself? What would it be? Would it have been the Jeep itself? Would it have been the anybody here at the dealership maybe rubbed you the wrong way, or would it have been the pricing? Well, you know, we're not really ready to buy today, like we said yesterday, and they're going to repeat that same thing again. You know, we're just kind of getting our feet wet and everything else. Oh no, hey, look, Jimmy, I truly understand that. I truly understand that. But hypothetically, let's say you were in a position or ready to pull the trigger yesterday. What would it have been? Well, hey, you know, we really, we like the Jeep. We like that Jeep, Gladiator. But we really wanted leather seats. And quite honestly, we thought it was a little bumpy, you know. I get it. What's important to you? How many, you know, then you go in to ask again, you know. Hey, well, what's truly important to you? Is it the look and the capability and the four-wheel drive capability and having a Jeep that's also a truck to where you can haul things and go off-road? And same body width as the Jeep Unlimiteds, you know, the four-door Jeeps. This one just got a bed. And with a little longer wheelbase, I'm glad you didn't look at the Unlimited, because if you thought this was bumpy, you're really gonna feel the bumpiness. But it's a truck nonetheless, and all trucks are gonna ride different than sedans. So if you're looking to get into that truck, they're all gonna be a little bumpier than a car or an SUV. So with that being said, was there anything else that may have held you back from doing business yesterday? Well, you know, I mean, no, nothing I could think of. Well, hey, you know, let me ask, because I want to make sure all stones are overturned here and we're not, you know, leaving anything that we didn't touch on, just so I know I'm best serving you and Sarah and making sure that, you know, I'm trying to take care of you to the best of my ability. Was it the price? Was it, you know, well, you know, maybe. Or was it the trade-in? You know, did we not give you enough for, you know, the Kia Sportage? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was really hoping, you know, I mean, look, we financed that thing since it was brand new. Haven't skipped a beat. We've followed up with all of our maintenance, and we just don't feel like, you know, being penalized $2,500 for an accident that was just merely a fender bender, and it was properly repaired, was something we'd be interested in doing. We are looking at getting closer to book value. Well, you know, hey, look, I appreciate, thank you for saying that, because without you telling me that, I would have never known. And so I do appreciate it. But if I can somehow find a way to talk to my used car manager and maybe talk some sense into him and explain exactly how you explained it to me, and we were able to get closer to that book value, is there any way I can earn your business today? Well, yeah, possibly. Okay, well, how much closer to that book value are we looking for? You know, obviously, you know, we got to turn around, and by law, we have to recondition that car. We're going to have to detail that car. We're going to have to put parts on that car, you know, and regardless of whether, and I know you've said you've done all the maintenance on it, but we have to spend money per law on that. We have to recondition the car per the law and how it's written. So yeah, I know your tires are, you know, they are good for driving. You know, they're good for driving, but we're required to replace them at 20% tread. Okay. And normally, you know, no, we don't want to sell a car with 20% tread on tires. So we actually replace our tires when they get down to 50% tread. That's just something our owner wants to do. He wants to make sure we're putting out a good product and a worry-free product for customers for many years down the road. So we're gonna have to spend $800 on the tires. And you know, you have a star in the windshield, and that hasn't been filled, and it is right in the sign of the driver's sight of vision. Okay, we're going to have to replace that. By law, we have to replace that if any cracks or stars are in the driver's vision. So there's a lot of money we're going to have to spend on the car. So if we can give you book value for the car, we would all day long to earn your business. Absolutely, 100%. But knowing what we know and knowing that what you know, how close do you think it would have to be to book value? You know, we were showing you $2,500 yesterday. You know, book value is $3,500. How far well, can you meet me in the middle and just go 3 grand? Possibly, you know, and that's I think that's fair, but it's not my money. So let me ask, if I can meet you halfway, 3 grand, if I can meet you at 3 grand, what time today can you come in and close the deal with me? Oh, I don't know if we could do it today. Hey, look, you know, bird in the hand today is better than, you know, trying to catch 2 in the bush tomorrow. And I know if there's, my manager's going to get really motivated if he knows we got a deal today. And I hate to put the pressure on you, and I never want you to feel that way. But look, if I can get you that 3 grand, can you make the commitment to come in and meet with me and take home your new Jeep Gladiator today? Yeah, I think we can. I still got to talk to Sarah, but hey, look, I mean, Sarah's on board with you, right? I mean, she was here yesterday. She wants the Jeep Gladiator. She was talking you into it, you know, but you being the finance guy, you know, I can understand that because I'm the finance guy in my household too. So, hey, I know Sarah's not going to disagree with that. You know she's not going to disagree with that, especially if you're happy on meeting the numbers. You know it's going to work out for everybody. How about 315? Would 315 work, or would 545 be better? Well, you know, I'd like to get in and get out before rush hour traffic. Let's just shoot at 315. Hey, look, if Sarah's not home by then, if she's still working, does she need to be here with me? Well, no, you know, you can come in, you can sign all the paperwork, and we'll just have her come in. She would just have to come in, either you put it all in your name, or she just has to come in later in the day or tomorrow and just sign her half of the paperwork. But as long as, you know, she signs off on the title ahead of time, and, you know, oh, that's right, you guys are financing that car, so no title to sign off from. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, 315 would work. Great. All right, well, I'll have the Jeep Gladiator pulled up when you get here, and we'll see you then. Easy peasy.